Hello, welcome to the queue. This is the recap of turn 6. We will move it on to turn 7. That's sort of the IPCs right now, but two important things happened this round. Two capitals fell. Anzac, Sydney fell, so Anzac is now out. They do not have any money. They still have quite a few territories, but they just don't have a capital, so they are done buying for the game. The other capital to fall was Italy. Italy, when Rome falls in the BBR, switches over to the Allied side. So there'll be some shuffling of IPCs between Italy and Germany here, and we'll do that as I walk through that. The tech, Japan revealed its tech this turn, so there was super carriers for them. Germany is still hidden on its tech. As far as the victory points go, Sydney now goes over to the Axis. They did lose Southeast Asia, Leningrad, Mediterranean, and Berlin. And these two will obviously come back as soon as Germany takes its turn. They'll take both of those back. Matter of fact, Rome was lost as well. But those three will come back immediately, so I'll put that there. So they are down to 8 at the end of turn 7. But immediately when Germany starts that turn 7, or they're at 8 at the end of turn 6. So when Germany starts its first turn on 7 here, they're going to get these 3 and they'll be back up to 11 immediately and marching towards that 12 mark. So as we look at the battles, we had a huge naval battle. You can see all the casualties there, ships, planes. Japan came in and wiped out the American fleet. It was left with a damaged battleship and a cruiser. The remaining U.S. fleet at San Francisco came in and cleaned that up. So there is no more Japanese or U.S. original fleet left in that zone. Japan does have a little fleet down here where they took Sydney. Sydney was well defended, killed really all the units that were coming except these two, including a couple planes. We move up, not a lot of action here. Burma, Japan took it back, Britain took it back, but this time in force, and there is no Japanese to counter for this turn. China and Japan battling again up there. I guess actually there should be one more little marker here, as China came back and took those 2 territories on their turn. US moved into Manchuria, which kind of denied Russia their bonus for liberating Manchuria, but our idea is to keep Korea and just punish Japan with Manchuria, so that's no big deal there. Moving to the Med, there was a Italian submarines that were destroyed. That was the last of the Italian Navy. Belarus, the Germans did take it, well, I didn't say they didn't take it back. They killed all the units there, but they lost all their units doing it. And there was a seesaw battle here up in Archangel, and I think Bessarabia, the Russians took it back, but the Germans did not come back in and get it. So I missed a few markers there. No other battles here other than Rome falling, which, you know, is kind of huge. So in the BBR game, and Matt explained it pretty good, but I'll go through the rule book here step by step. And the first thing it talks about is that the Allies, Rome becomes an allied country now, and they are at war with the Axis for the remainder of the game. The Axis, or the Italian units, are the next thing. So any Italian units that are in a territory or sea zone with an Axis unit converts over to that whatever Axis power that is. So there's no Japanese over here, so they're all going to become German. So in northern Italy, we've got this stack of infantry, a stack of anti-aircraft, and a stack of artillery that now become German. So we'll put those out. There are 2 more territories where this happens. Up here in Baltic states, there are 2 Italian tanks. They are now German tanks. And then the other territory being Western Germany, where this stack of fighters becomes German, and this stack of infantry becomes German. So now all the units have been taken care of. Now, in those territories where those things took place, if they are Italian, they convert to German. So that one switches to German. Eastern Poland switches to German. So that will be 5 IPCs that Germany will go up immediately. So I'll move Italy down 5 and Germany up 5. All right, so let's look at the book here. We're done all the units. All right, territories now. Any Allied territory that was occupied by only Italians are reverted back to the Allied power. And there is only one of those. So Malta will go back to Britain. And that is very similar to what happens in Paris. Say, you know, the U.S. may have southern France or Normandy, and they liberate Paris. Well, now Paris or France is back in the game. So now all these territories that were French, but they have Allied markers on it, they will go back to French. So they revert back to France, and they collect their money, and you know, whether they survive, who knows, but it's the same concept. So Allied territories switch over to, or former Allied territories that Italy has switch over. So like Greece does not. It was a pro-Axis, so that's part of Italy. Southern France does not because they don't have their capital. So it stays Italy. Now, I missed this one over here. There's 2 German infantry on Cyprus, so that will switch to German. It's not a point value, so there's no movement on the IPC chart. So the last and most interesting part here is Italian units. Let me see here. It says if the territories, it's still talking about territories, if Axis controlled, Italy takes control of the territory. So there are 2 territories that the Axis, or Italy is in by themselves. So that will be Italy now because it's only Italian units. And the kicker here is Berlin. Now, there's much debate on the cash because it wasn't really conquered by Italy. So does Germany give up its cash to Italy? Don't know. It's kind of a gray area, and it really doesn't matter because there is such a large force of Germans in northern Italy. They're going to take Rome back this turn, and if Rome has the cash, they're going to give it all back to Germany. But what this really does, you can't buy anything without your capital. So Germany has no capital, so the bottom line is it doesn't matter where the cash is because they don't own their capital, so they can't buy. So when Germany's turn comes up, it goes right to the combat movement. Then they have combat, then they have non-combat. If they're able to take back their capital, which they should, then they will be able to collect income and spend it on the next turn. So for one turn, Germany production is shut down. However, this is a 7-point swing for Italy and Germany. So Germany goes down 7 and Italy will go up 7. Now, I don't remember if in Matt's video if he gave money to Italy, because Italy would not collect any money because it's not their turn. So Italy currently is sitting on $5 from the last turn. So that's all the money they would have. And then you would have the German money that's really can go to Rome or stay in Germany. It doesn't matter because they don't have their capital, so they can't build. So it's kind of a moot point. But that is what has transpired here on turn 6. And Germany was baiting us into taking Rome, you know, for a little bit here. So there just was no real incentive for the Allies to do it until Berlin was occupied by Italian units. And then, you know, after some conferencing, you know, with Sire Blood and you know, both Axis and Allies sides to determine how this was going to play out. And it was like, okay, let's take Rome. Germany, we're going to shut down their production one turn. That's really what happens. Germany gets a ton of units. I think G.I. Joe counted them up, and it was like over 90 IPCs worth of units that are now Germans. The downside is there is no Axis Italy turn at the end of the game. So that has been eliminated as well. So there is the end of round 6. It is now turn 7, and Germany will come in and exact some punishment on the Canadians in Rome, take back their capital, and most likely Leningrad. We'll see how that goes.